Yeah, it's going. Okay. All right. Now, I'm probably the one that's going to act different in front of the camera. No. I first want to just officially welcome and appreciate that you came to this session, and I'm going to explain a little bit about the background of what we're trying to do here, and then answer any questions you have at all about this process or about where the information is going to end up and that type of thing. My name is Nick Gutwein, and beside me is Karen McDonough, and we are board members on C.W.E.P. I'm a very new board member, by the way, very recent. Karen has been a board member for how long?
A couple of years.
A couple years. And we are going through a strategic planning process, trying to look into the future and understand the needs of the students and the staff and improve C.W.E.P. to make it more suitable, more useful to the student population. And that's the goal of these sessions. As part of our effort, the board members have taken the responsibility to come out, conduct 6 of these focus group sessions of students, current and former, as Eleanor is a former student, so that we can use the information, pull it together, and really have a powerful message that comes directly from the people who need the services most, and that's the student population. So that in years to come, we'll continue to improve the offering and the structure and whatever else is necessary, whatever we find out. So we're anxious to hear from the students so that we can learn and then set out to improve those areas where we need to and make it a better place. And you're the first group session, so you're the official starters of this process. And I personally would like to say that my background, I've done this type of thing in a business setting for about 10 years. So I guess I was elected to do this. Maybe I elected myself because I like to do it too. But it's going to be an open discussion. I want you to feel free to say anything you like. It's not a test. It's not like you come into a room and there's a bunch of peanut butters we're going to bring out to you and you taste each one and decide which one you like best or any of that. It's not a test. It's something where we want to, though, to encourage you to be very open about your feelings and your comments and thoughts, because that's how we're going to learn best. I want you to feel comfortable. If I'm not clear on something, please feel free to ask me and I'll explain it better. But I'd like to start by first saying, are there any questions? And then I'm going to have you introduce yourselves and sort of your background. Do you have any questions about this process at all? Feel comfortable? Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, Kimmy, we'll start with you. You might just introduce yourself and sort of your association so far with C.W.E.P. If you're a current student, what program you're in, and anything else about yourself you want to let us know.
Okay, my name is Kimmy Summers, and I started here last year, January.
All right.
And I was introduced through a friend who knew somebody at New Horizons. And
No, that's great. Okay, so and you're in.
I'm in C.C.P. now, community college.
Okay.
And I did Work Start 1 and Work Start 2. And through that, I found out what I think I might want to do.
Okay, excellent.
So now I'm taking college course.
All right, so you've been through that those programs.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, Donna.
Okay, I'm Donna. I'm a student at C.C.P. now. I went through the Work Start 1 program, and it was the best experience I ever had. I have no complaints. The teachers were great. The learning process was fun, and it was a rewarding experience for me. And I really like being here. And the reason why I stayed here and didn't go to the main campus was because of the support system that C.W.E.P. offers here. And I wish that I found out through C.W.E.P. through a family member. Because if I would have known that it was here before, I would have came earlier to get out of the rotten job that I was doing and get my education. And I can't say enough good things about C.W.E.P. So I'm glad I'm here.
It's very nice. And we're going to get into some of those specific issues because, again, learning both things that were difficult and could be improved as well as things that have gone well, that's very important to know because we want to reinforce the things that are being done well and enhance the things that aren't maintenance?
The only complaint that I do have is that I wish there was some way where we could advertise more, that more people could find out about C.W.E.P by either word of mouth or maybe put it in the newspaper. I don't know if we don't have the resources to do that. It's a shame. I would have never known it if it wasn't for a family member, you know?
It's kind of almost by accident,
Right.
and you could still be
Right.
not where you are now.
Right,
and not know.
exactly.
Okay. Eleanor?
Hi, I'm Eleanor, and I came through Work Start 1 in the fall of '89, and I found out through a friend. It was by accident, because at that time in my life I was undecided what to do, and came through C.W.E.P and then continued at C.C.P, and where now I'm a full-time student this semester anyway.
We have all CCP
All right.
students here. That's outstanding. Great. Okay, I'm also going to tell you now what the agenda is for the next 55 minutes. We're going to keep this to an hour. And if we don't, then it's Karen's fault because she's supposed to be the timekeeper. The agenda, conveniently right here to my left, is an introduction which is completed already. And then we're going to basically, the middle three items here is really the flow of our discussion. We have some specific questions I'm going to pose to the group. The first is on enrollment, and I think you've already, Eleanor and Donna, commented on what enrollment was like. And we'll get into the specific questions now. But we're going to spend about 10 or 15 minutes on enrollment. And then about your experiences at C.W.E.P. That'll be about a half hour. And then about 10 or 15 minutes on the future. What kind of plans you have and you know, how C.W.E.P has either fit into that or how it could help you even more. So those are the three general topical areas we're going to talk about. And then at the close, we'll answer any questions that you might have about what's been talked about and any other sort of closing comments that you might have. So that's the general flow of the discussion. And I talked a little bit earlier about what I call guidelines. There really are none. I want you just to make this as a normal discussion. And I've already encouraged you to speak. We're not going to have a problem with this group in having one person speak at a time. We have three. It's a very nice group. Sometimes when I get into these, there are 8 people. And then, you know, you have 2 over there that have a couple things they want to talk about, and then a few over here. And that's kind of hard to manage, but we're not going to have a problem with that. Okay, so with that, we'll get started with the questions. And it's interesting because in the introduction, Donna and Eleanor, you answered the first question. So you must have some kind of a sixth sense here. We talked about the topic here being enrollment. And we have several questions that are going to be posed to the group. And I'd like to, the first one is, how did you first hear about C.W.E.P? Kimmy, I'm going to start with you on this one. And then Donna and Eleanor, you can add anything else that you would like to the opening comments you made on that. But Kimmy, how did you first hear about C.W.E.P?
I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was saying I needed a change of pace. I raised my son. He was 2 years old, and I was just like stuck. And the education that I did have was in computers, but I was out of circulation for like 2 years, so it's hard to get back into that. And he said, oh, I know somebody down at CCP, Cynthia Walls, and she's the head of New Horizons, and, you know, she helps displaced, you know, family and stuff like that. So I called, and she sent me an application, and I sent it back, and next thing I know, it was in C.W.E.P.
Okay.
You know, and she said it's tax-free childcare, and I was like, yes. That's the first thing that got me was free childcare, you know.
Well, you had a 2-year-old. That's very important.
Yeah. Well, I say it wasn't free, but it was reasonable price.
Mhm.
You know, and if you were having problems in paying, they had other ways of you doing it. Either you wash sheets or something like that, stay after class. But I mean, it was great. Childcare on the premises. I didn't have to worry about where he was going to be. And as I said, it helped me to get back into the thinking process. You know, career or anything like that. Like, you haven't done English, haven't done math in a long time, and it gets your brain back into thinking those things.
That's great.
Because before it was like you only think is high enough to keep the 2-year-old out of trouble. You know, and as he gets older, you think a little more in front of him. But I mean, it's been great.
It's great.
Yeah, the enrollment was real easy.
And so you really, though, first heard about it through a friend
Yeah,
that was
through a friend.
associated with New Horizons?
Right.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
That was a stroke of luck, really.
So yours was a stroke of luck, Kimmy, and Donna, yours also.
Right.
Right.
My cousin was the graduate of Work Start 1. She was the one that told me about the program, or I would have never known.
And she was favorable on the program
Oh,
too,
yes,
so-
absolutely. She loved it. She goes to, well, she had to drop out, but she went to CCP. She was also going to CCP too. So,
And that's how you first heard
Right.
and enrolled. Okay, and Eleanor, anything else you'd like to add about the enrollment process? But it was, again, for you, sort of a word of mouth thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting, the three of you that have come in here all, heard about it through word of mouth.
Yeah.
We'll get into how maybe we can correct that later. Okay, the second question here was, and you've touched on this a bit, but what was the primary reason that you enrolled in Quest? What was it that caused you to enroll? Even though someone told you about it, you still had to make up in your mind, why am I going to come to Quest? And Eleanor, I'll start with you this time.
Should I get personal?
If you would like,
I
sure.
don't know what to...
Feel free, yeah.
At that time, I was coming out of a marriage,
Mhm.
and I just didn't know what direction to take. And it was, like I had high school, I graduated high school, but I've been home with the kids for 15 years, and didn't know what to do, and tossed school in around. Should I, shouldn't I? I really didn't know what to do, and then my friend told me about this, and I thought it's kind of like a stepping stone, and just to see if I could do it, and like kind of like a, like can I do it, or do I belong there, or do I settle for a job? And so that's the reason, like to a stepping stone. I used it as
Excellent.
to move on.
I'm sorry, you were re-entering the workforce after having been out of the workforce for an extended period of time?
Right, and that wasn't my choice at that time.
Mhm.
I needed to do something with my life to,
You needed to bridge that.
yeah, like I needed to, I needed to learn to be independent, which this also helped me to bring myself confidence that I can do things. at
Just
that
making the
time.
decision had to be one that boosted confidence, that you had the guts to make this step, right?
Yeah, I needed something, and this friend, it was weird how it happened. It was like an accident happened, and she told me she already came through this,
Okay.
and thought it was good for her, and suggested maybe I might want to try it. So I did. I followed through.
Very good. Donna, how about yourself?
my primary reason was to come here to brush up on my skills, my remedial skills, because I was in the workforce and I was dissatisfied with low-paying jobs, and I wanted to further my education. It's the primary reason. And throughout the years, you lose so many of those skills that if you don't use every day. And I found myself remembering and learning, and it was a great experience.
Good. Okay. Kimmy?
It started with wanting to do something and didn't know what it was. And I said, well, to go to college. And I said, no. And I said, I can go out and get a job. But then I looked through all the papers and I couldn't find anything that was going to, give me that upper hand. So that's why I decided to come here, because it helps me brush up on the thinking process again. Thinking of the math skills, the English skills, the writing skills. And all right, this is one step that'll get me closer to either a career goal or a job. And jobs are so hard, I said, well, I'll go to career goal. And plus, I didn't have a career goal, really. I didn't know what I wanted to do or how to accomplish getting there. And through C.W.E.P, they gave me some suggestions on what to think about. And that's why I decided to come here. I mean, anything that's going to help me do something.
Yeah.
Plus, it was free to me. And being a person with limited resources, I said free, and I had the time, and then might as well go.
The child care you mentioned earlier.
The child care, the DPA said they would give me car fare, and they pay for the child care. I was like, hey, you're going to pay for it? I'm going to go. Because I wasn't really doing anything at home, but sitting, looking at the TV. That gets boring. And in the wintertime, you can't go outside like you want to, so you're stuck in the house, and it just got monotonous. I said, there's something more to life than sit here. And then my son will be old enough to go to school soon. And I'm like, now, he's in school, what am I going to do? You know, so I had to find something. And this was the closest thing that, I think it was like some other place that I heard about, but it was telling me I had to take these courses, and I didn't want anything that's going to tell me what I have to take. You know, give me a broad, you know, view of what's out there for me to take. So that's why I decided to come here, because everything I heard was positive. And it was really what the program, you know, what the curriculum of the program was that got me interested. It wasn't somebody said, well, I was here and it was great. I'm the one that's going out there saying, I'm here, you know, it was great, why don't you join? And I'm on people's case, you know, sign up at least. If you don't want to go, then, you know, drop out. But give it a chance, you know, get in the door.
So you become an ambassador for this program.
Well, something like that. You know, I'm out there just recruiting people that I know that's in the same situation.
Yeah.
Sitting home and what are you doing with your time? You know, like the child care is right there on the premises. I mean, what more could you ask for? And you get home in time enough that if you have a child in school, you get home in time enough to get that child. So, you know, do something.
How old's your son now?
He's 3 years old, and he's downstairs now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. And he likes it here too.
Have to have him come up for a sandwich here when he's ready.
He's sitting up here acting like a little nut. But anyway, he liked it here too. First day he came in, he tried to pretend he was kind of shy, but he didn't see all these little kids running around. And it was great for him, it was great for me. He was downstairs, I could check on him anytime, you know. He was in good hands, and hey, that's why I said, okay, might as well keep going through and see, you know, what's going to happen.
That's great. Okay. Well, that's, so far, this is rolling really well. I don't know how we're doing on time, but I'm not really sure I care because we're getting into a lot of excellent issues.
Very good.
I need to make sure that what I'm reading here is the same as what's on the board, so I have to look back here. Sorry. The next question is, what other similar programs did you consider? And the second part of the question is, what made C.W.E.P your choice? I think you've explained that, so we'll leave that. But did you consider anything else?
Yes, I did. I was, about 5 years ago, I was attending night school for GEP courses at the library. It was terrible. There was no cooperation. It was so disorganized. There was never enough time. That was the only prior experience I had. And when I came to C.W.E.P, it was like being in paradise. It was so organized. There was a rapport with the teachers. I built my self-confidence up again, which I lost over the years. And I wouldn't consider going anywhere else.
So you considered, you had experience with
Right.
this course, but
Right.
then before you enrolled in C.W.E.P, there was nothing, not like you had choice C.W.E.P here, this program here,
Right.
that there. You just found C.W.E.P and that's...
Right. Mhm.
Okay. Anybody else consider other types of programs, such as Donna did?
Kimmy, you had mentioned in your earlier comment that you had heard about or looked at a different program, but it had a more rigid
Yeah.
course
It was the PIC program.
pick.
And they said, okay, well, you can come here. And they have the daycare, which they gave me this number and said, call New Choices, and they'll help you with a daycare or something like that. And they were talking about being a secretary, you know, typing skills and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want to be no secretary. They said, well, why don't you try it? You can be a secretary or a stenographer. And I'm like, that's not what I want to do. You know, I knew that's what I didn't want to do.
So they had very specific training.
Yeah, they were specific in what they wanted you to do. And I said, was there anything else? And they said, no, that's basically what we offer. And I was like, well, I was saying, well, this is, it was also, I consider it a free program because the money's not actually coming out of my pocket, but it's coming through DPA. And I said, well, if I can't find anything, then I'll go here. And I'm like, oh, please, Lord, send me something else. You know, there's got to be something else out there besides this. But I will go through it anyway. You know, I put it this way, it's taking up time that I wouldn't be doing anything. So I said, well, let me try it.
Yeah.
And then I think it was a week before I signed up here, they called me back. I said, I joined another program. You know.
And you were happy to...
Yeah, I was happy. I was happy to be able to tell them that. I'm sorry I can't come here. You know, I've signed up with another program that I like this better. You know, it's not telling me that I have to do this or I have to do that. You know, so I signed up. I went through the interview and everything. Another problem that I had with PIC was they were telling me about childcare. Call up New Choices. So I called up New Choices. They sent me all these papers and what to look for in childcare and stuff like that. But they didn't. I would like for childcare to be somewhere near the building, you know, because I would have to go out of my way for childcare and then go to school. And I had to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, come on, be realistic. How am I going to get my child in childcare, you know, and do all this? And it was just so hectic. I was like, isn't there one that's closer? But I wasn't allowed to go to that one because it wasn't in DPA area or whatever the standards they had. And it was just a problem. I'm like, well, so when I heard about C.W.E.P, you know, child care on the premises, and they bring it with me, and I had to be here, I think it was 9:30 or 9:15, and it was convenient to transportation. Like, hey, no problem, I'll come here.
It sounds like that was a lot easier to come here, plus
Yeah.
this rigidity of the programs.
Right.
You know, that,
You know,
okay.
it wasn't a set thing that you have to do. You know, it was really career oriented. You know, find out what you want to do,
This is
and
just what
they'll
you need.
help you to make those steps to get to where you want to be.
Right.
That's why I like it.
Okay. Eleanor, what about yourself?
I didn't consider other programs, but I had, my choices were either go to college or get a job, and I was just so scared and screwed up at that time in my life, and I heard about this, and like I agree, like it was coming here that, like this other girl said, that like they'll help me either decide to go out and work or continue school, and I needed, at that time I needed the help, and I got it.
Well, that's wonderful. For me, I have to do something I'm not supposed to be doing in these, and it's very, very nice to see. I mean, all of you who've said the way you were or felt before and the way you look and seem now is like you must have been totally different people.
Yeah.
Really, really,
Just stuck, you know.
really.
You're stuck in
Just
the butt.
discouraged, just surviving, you know, just going on in life with emotions. Quite changed, had a big impact on my life.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, it gave me hope.
Yes.
On top of that, my goal was to get off the DPA. And I was like, now how am I going to do that if I don't have a career goal or I have no direction on which way to go? And I was like, so once I started here, I was like, I got a 5-year plan to get off DPA. Hopefully it'll work. I will be a full-time student if nothing else. But, you know,
But your brain gets worked,
yeah,
right?
it does. And my son actually sees me doing stuff.
Yeah.
You know, instead of just being home. He sees me trying to better myself. Even if I never get off DPA, at least you know I was trying to get off.
Absolutely. That's great. You've had the same feeling then, Eleanor, as far as...
Yeah, I see my children are seeing me, like studying and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, I remember writing when I first came here, that English course or whatever it was,
Yeah,
the writing class.
that's great.
So,
Yeah, I think it,
the journal writing. that we had
yeah,
to
the
do.
journal writing.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember that.
All that writing, yeah. But it got your brain thinking.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, one final question on the enrollment issue, which has led us into a lot of interesting areas. And this one is, it's important. Was there anything that you could identify at all that made it difficult or not quite as easy for you to enroll, just to enroll? Now, Kimmy, you said this other program made some things difficult, like
Yeah.
the restrictions around childcare and timing and that sort of thing. But
Right.
was there anything here that you would say was a little bit difficult to deal with? It's enrollment. This is just enrollment now.
No.
No, that's great. Okay.
Can I say something about that?
Sure.
I found, like the timing was good. Like Kim said, like I had children in school, and like they left before me, and then I had a daughter that came home for lunch, and I was done here in time to be home for her.
So the scheduling, the hours.
Yeah,
were
it was
convenient.
great. Yeah,
Well, that's nice to
because
hear.
then I didn't have to. My head wasn't where's my daughter going to be at lunchtime, or
Yeah.
and too young to leave, and so So yeah, the scheduling.
And
yeah.
the way the program is administered was easy for you to work with in terms of signing up for courses and that sort of thing, that all worked, was easy to
No
do.
problem.
Yeah.
Like, if you can read the instructions, I mean, what's so hard? Yes, well, I answer the questions, you know, and it was easy because it was to the point. They asked you to do a little write-up, you know. I can't remember exactly what they asked, but I think it was something like, well, why do you want to come here, you know? And you have to tell them why you want to come here. And what was good about it is they wanted to make sure that you were sincere, that you actually wanted to come here, that you wasn't just coming here, you know, just to be coming somewhere. And so that was good because the majority of people in the class, they actually wanted to be there. Of course, you had a few that got in there that, you know, they started out okay and then they got tired. But the enrollment was a piece of cake. I mean, I didn't see anything hard about it. It's just to get to that step of enrollment.
Yeah, and each of you had a personal acquaintance or friend that sort of told you about it and encouraged you, right?
Right.
That's interesting. It's a common theme here. What about the other part of this question is, I don't know who put these questions together. No, I did. But I don't think it fits too well, actually, so I'm going to ask it later about anything that made it difficult for you to stay in the program through the course of it. But that's not really enrollment, so we'll go to the next one now. We are making a transition now to the next area, which was your experiences at C.W.E.P once you're in. So we've gotten through the enrollment stage, and now we're going into your experience at C.W.E.P, and so I need to get up and turn this thing set. How you doing, Jamie? All right? Okay. This is going to talk about some specific things through the course. Each of you have had a great depth of experience here, actually, in terms of time frame. So you think back in your memory banks and try to pull out some thoughts on these issues here, if you could. It'd be very much appreciated. First question is, what were your initial expectations of C.W.E.P? When you came in here, what did you expect of C.W.E.P and what it was going to do for you?
Well, like I had said earlier, it would improve on your skills. I thought that I had lost the skills that I had, and C.W.E.P, it
Brought them back.
It brought them all
Yeah.
back to me.
Great.
It was there to begin with, but I had just lost them through the years.
Yeah.
You know?
So it
Of
injected
doing
some
monotonous
new...
jobs all the time, you know, where you're not using your brain. And C.W.E.P it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience. Here I go. I'm saying it again.
Keep saying
I'm
it,
being
that's fine.
repetition. That's how I feel. I
And
couldn't.
that's what we want to hear. Exactly how you feel. That's great. So, I mean, any other thoughts on that, Kimmy? What did you expect? You know, you made that big hurdle about deciding to enroll. You were enrolled. Here you are. Here's C.W.E.P. You look into the future. What did you expect from this place?
I don't even know. I can't even remember what I expected.
What was early?
I did expect to leave C.W.E.P with an idea of what career path to take. Which, when I left here, I had an idea of which career path to take. Even though other people were telling me, well, why do you want to do that? And, you know, that's competitive, because I want to get into electronics. And the steps that we took for the career class, everything led up to electronics. So I said, well, maybe I should go into electronics. And other people outside of C.W.E.P, you know, they were telling me, well, first of all, they said, well, why are you going all the way up to Kensington? I was like, why not? You know, I'm not having no problems. You know, it's up here, so that's where I have to go. And then they said, well, why do you want to get into electronics? I was like, because that's where everything leads to. And C.W.E.P was the only people that said, hey, go for it. You know, the students, the teachers were like, well, go for it. And if you change your mind, you can always change it, no later on. But you would never know until you go for it. So I went for it. You know,
So you expected to have some career direction from
Right.
C.W.E.P, right? And that was your expectation of what it would do for you.
Yeah, I guess I'd have to agree with that. I needed help at that time, and kind of like a sorting out period of what to do. And
That's very
I came
interesting.
here for the help.
And similar for you then?
Yes,
right?
similar for me.
So it's almost as if it seems like the joining was to give you some direction in your life and your career,
Yeah.
and then provide the skills to get there.
Right.
And the support.
And
That
support. And we're going to get into that
yes.
support in a few minutes, and I want to hear about that. Little activity out there.
Background noise in
We're
this
saying,
table.
right. Right. The next question is, I think, already answered, but I'll ask it anyway. Has C.W.E.P met your expectations?
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
Gave each of you some career direction. And what is it that if you think back to when you enrolled and where you are now, what is different about the way you think about your career? Where are you right now? And what is it?
Am I what?
Are you placed in, are you working now? Are you toward a career? Have you chosen a career?
I'm still at C.C.P. Full-time this semester.
Yeah.
And now I'm back to indecision about whether to continue for a 4-year degree
Or move out to the
or
workforce?
go out to work.
But you know you're better equipped now than you were when you
Yeah,
started.
I feel much more confident that I can get
Yeah.
because I almost have my degree.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot better about that. But I'm kind of like, maybe I want more.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, so I'm back to that indecision.
Far ahead of where you started. when you
Oh,
enrolled.
God, yes. Yes.
Okay. I met my goals here. I found who I am here, actually. And I'm taking general studies. I'd like to get into teaching field or paralegal.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
Great.
They helped me come to that conclusion.
This is very
I'm
enlightening.
discovering myself, you know.
A lot of what's been said here has been the personal side of development and competence has been as much and as important for
Yes.
you as the skills training. It seems like where you are now.
Yeah, really.
Okay. The other thing, and I think we've talked about it, and this is something you've brought a lot about. How has your experience at C.W.E.P affected you? It's a new question, actually, than what you have up here. How has the experience here affected you? You've already mentioned a lot of this in terms of your self-confidence and you know, your position in the workforce. Is there anything else along these lines that you'd like to bring out?
I think you have more self-respect for yourself. You're more assertive. I know I'm more aggressive since I came here. I don't take the guff that I used to take from people. I speak out more and more outspoken, and I demand respect from people. You know, I have that. I believe in myself more, which I really didn't for a long time. I'm a more assertive person.
That's great. Kimmy, do you have anything how it's affected you?
I'm more talkative.
More talkative? That's good.
But I normally don't talk in front of others, but now just on my face off all the time. That's about it.
Why is it? That's an interesting.
I guess it was the confidence that I have in what I have to say, even though it may not be important to other people, it's important to me. And I have a different way of seeing things that other people do, and then I can give them. I think I'm better at explaining to people, you know, different situations, but I break it down, you know, so they understand exactly where I'm coming from, and I can explain where I'm coming from too. You know, personal experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think
So you can communicate better. You're more self-confident. Are you a different person now than when you enrolled? Well,
more talkative, that's about it.
and more
Could
career
be.
direction too, right?
Yeah, more, definitely.
I'm not sure I understood that question.
Well, basically, it's how has this affected you, C.W.E.P. Your experience through the last few years at C.W.E.P. How has it affected you? And you've already said self-confidence, and you were in a tough situation, and provided. And so a lot of this has already been said. And really, if there's an issue that we've talked about, you can just say it again, or say I've already talked about that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so.
Okay. Next thing is, what are the things? Think about C.W.E.P. in its entirety, not just in the last year or so, CCP or whatever, but back to the beginning and now. What are the things you like best about it? And I'm going to start with you, Kimmy, because one thing you mentioned was the support, one being the child care on site. So maybe you can start with that and other things that really stick in your mind as things you like best. Classroom, support services, whatever you think.
Well, the childcare was one thing that stuck in my mind because it was so convenient. And, the workers were, good with the children and everything. And my son was happy. He was happy because he was just happy to get out of the house and stop looking at his mom. Because children get tired of being in the same situation. So it was different for him, and he had fun. And the support through other women. And I also expected to see a couple of men here, but there were none here. But the the women that are in the same situation that you are in, they were there to help you along the way, to give you suggestions on like maybe something that I didn't know DPA had to offer, and so I got information through somebody else who's in the same situation. The staff they were good too. They had a nice support system going, and anytime you had a question or anything, they were able to answer it or at least point to somebody who could help you. So the support was just real great. If you missed a day or something like that, like, where were you? A few people, you get their phone numbers, you meet new people, you could add to your list of friends, So that's why I liked it, it was the support.
Great.
Because you need the support, even if you don't have the support through family. At least when you got here, you had a classroom full of support, that was pulling with you to succeed in whatever you decide to do. Even if they don't quite agree what you want to get into, at least they were behind you and say, okay, go for it, see what happens.
That's great. What about you, Eleanor, the things you like best about Blair?
Yeah, I remember the small classrooms, and like we were all at the same level at that time. Nobody was better than the other, and like we all supported each other and helped each other through. I remember times saying, oh God, I can't do this, and somebody saying, yeah, you can, and and the teachers and the friends. Like I one friend that I still keep in touch with today. We see each other all the time. We've taken different paths, but
But still friends.
yeah, and we keep in touch all the time.
Okay, so support group, again,
Support.
that was a big help to you.
Yeah.
I don't know, what are the things you like best about?
I like the teachers, the the atmosphere in itself, the people that came here. I made a lot of new friends. The support group, everything. I'm trying to summarize everything. The teachers were always there, available. We had personal attention. The classes were great. We learned a lot.
So you liked the curriculum, the
Right,
classwork
exactly.
was appropriate?
Right.
Yeah. Did they grade on curve, or did they give you a straight? How do you feel about the type of program? It sounds like the career guidance that was
Yes,
given was a
yes.
big part of
Right.
of where you're going and what you did. So
Yeah, that's a credit to, I say, well, that's a credit to one of my teachers here, that she gave me that specific direction that I wanted to go into,
The other thing I like was, them being tested. You do the work
At your own pace.
at your own pace, and
It wasn't
it was,
competitive.
you had stuff to turn in, but it's like everything was put on you as the adult. You wasn't being treated as in high school. Okay, you have to turn in your homework. It's like, well, your homework assignment is, and you turn it in or you don't turn it. And the good thing about here is I'm the type of person who don't like homework. Somehow I go home, start doing homework, I fall asleep. But here it lets me know that if you're going to college, all they're going to say is assignment is due so-and-so date. It's up to you to do it. So I had to work on that through C.W.E.P. And since I did that, I'm a little bit better. Well, not exactly that better, but I'm a little bit better in college now. Now I know the assignments have to be turned in, and it's up to me to do it. So they gave me that little insight on what college life is going to be. So that's another good thing I can say about it.
Great. Anything anybody wants to add about the things you like best? And Karen, maybe if you have any specific questions, it seems, you know, that there've been some very clear comments that have
Yeah,
come
I
out.
thought they were very clear.
I think it opened new windows too. Like I remember one class we filled out a form about like your likes and dislikes, and then ended up at the library with this fix machine, and like which I never knew about, which helped me. And then I in turn helped my son because now he's preparing for school, and like,
Yeah,
I can tell
yeah.
him about that. So yeah, it was like like these women here like just knew so much stuff, and they wanted us to know it. And if you're interested, they were there.
That's
and
great.
Yeah, and helped me a lot that way. Like I
They're
was
interested in you as a person, right?
Right,
As a
yeah,
career,
exactly.
as much as
Yeah.
the. When you said something about new windows, I thought you were talking about the
No.
new windows project we have here. Thank you very much for those comments.
I think we've got about 10 more minutes on this topic if you want to keep pretty much to schedule.
Yeah, I was just ready to move into the next area. 2 more questions, right? Next area is areas needing improvement. Now, I know this group is very satisfied, and sometimes that's, in these types of sessions, it's hard to bring out things that, and this is not really negative, it's just that if you think about C.W.E.P, what are areas that you would suggest to us as a board and in general that could be improved? What could be done better?
We're done differently.
Differently, right.
The only complaint that that I have is that we don't have, I don't know if we have the resources, the monies to advertise. That's the
Right.
only gripe I have, that it's not, it has to be through someone that you know, that there's, you know, through personal experience. Like I said, my cousin had told me about the program. That's I wish there was another way where we could
Word to get
focus
out.
in.
More publicity.
That's it. You summed it up for me. Thank you. More publicity.
That's very good, and that's appreciative. And don't think in this discussion about resources. In other words, open your mind up to anything, you know, and that because this is the way these things come out, and then we think the job in this whole effort is to respond to those kinds of things. And if it seems consistent here that the way you found out about enrolling was through a friend, and fortunately you had a friend that was willing to that shared this with you,
Really?
right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a very appropriate comment.
Right.
Kimmy, what about transportation? You made a comment earlier that your friends and acquaintances were asking you why you came so far, why you came to Kensington. Is the location a difficulty for some people?
I don't think so because the L is right. I mean,
So you have the
everything connects with the L.
Uh-huh.
Transportation is good. It's just, I think what it is a stereotype for, you know, Kensington. That's.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? For those of us
I don't
who-
even know the stereotype. I mean, I didn't hear anything about any stereotype until I got here, and everybody was saying the stereotype of women in Kensington, tattoos, no teeth, you know. And I'm like, I mean, I never paid attention to any of that stuff until somebody told me. I'm like, oh, really? You know, but I guess it's just the area and how they were. Somebody was saying that they were prejudiced, you know, around here. And I also heard from one of the staff that's not here anymore, and she said that when she was working here, that there is, you know, a few prejudice, you know, they were prejudiced towards her, you know, being in the neighborhood. And
But you didn't experience that.
I didn't experience none of that. That's why I'm like, well, what's the matter with Kensington?
So it was easy for you to come here
Yeah,
and...
I mean, I guess that's why there's not a lot of people here, because they hear Kensington and then they hear, and then whatever the stereotype is, that comes into play. But I never paid attention to stereotypes anyway. And it was just convenient to come here. I didn't run into any problems, you know. And I just don't know what the problem is. I tell people it's a great place to go, you know.
Kimmy, I'm sorry to ask this question because I'm not really, you mean prejudice against blacks? Or
Black,
just-
Hispanic,
Okay.
I don't know. I
Prejudice
guess,
against anybody who's
Who's
not
different than they are.
different
Yeah.
than the Kensington
I
Core.
guess that's what it is.
Kensington does have that reputation.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. Well, I consider myself a Kensingtonian. It does have that reputation.
But I've
To
never
outsiders.
experienced it, and I never knew what they were talking about. I was like, well, what's the prejudice? You know, and nobody could tell me exactly what the prejudice is. I guess it's like you were saying, anybody that's outside of, you know, being around here. Because I mean, walking up here, walking up from the L, you see Asians, you see blacks, you see Hispanic, and I'm like, okay, well, where's the prejudice? And why is there prejudice if all these people are living in this one area?
Good, okay. Any other thoughts on the same topic that Kimmy's mentioning, or other areas that could be done differently or improved in terms of services offered, support, types of programs, anything else you can think of? Okay, that's great. And the next question is sort of related. What would you change about C.W.E.P? And the comment that you made is very appropriate. One, you'd say more publicity. Anything
He
else?
wants more men in the class, right?
It's funny how you don't see no men here. I guess they
Do you think that would have added a dimension to the class that would have been helpful?
It would have been different because everybody talks about women's situations, and then we talk, and then if we mention something about the men's situations from a woman's point of view, but we don't have a man's point of view in there.
Do you think that the support network would have been different, and perhaps, don't want to lead this question too much, but perhaps a less supportive, less nurturing environment if there were more men participating?
Probably, because I think in a classroom full of women, you know, we all have common problems. And then if there's a man in there, he doesn't know exactly what our problems
Not related
were, or we might not mention the problems that we have because we're not as comfortable because there's an outsider in our group.
Yeah.
But I think it would be interesting to have, you know, a couple of guys in there, you know, as a because he'll understand where we're coming from, and we can understand, you know, his point of view and where he's coming from. So I think it would be a change, but then you would run into the problem where there's not as much, you know, openness.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of men wouldn't come here because it says community women. You know, it's like, why would I want to be there with a bunch of women? You know?
Well, I don't know. Any other thoughts on this, the male part of the classroom issue? You think anything you want to add to what Kimmy said?
The time I came, we did have one man in the program, but like I didn't want anything to do with men at that time.
Yeah, so you were glad.
You know, I needed women's support.
Yeah.
And was glad to see it was more women.
Okay.
I presently have a male in both my classes, and he's comfortable. He feels comfortable, and we get along. We respect him, and he respects us. You know. But men would be you know, if more men came here, it could lead to another perspective. But then yet, in a way, I think that I'm prejudiced. I think that women are naturally more nurturing and caring people.
Yeah.
You know, that openness, like Kimmy was saying,
Yeah.
to paraphrase her.
Yeah, so, I mean, this would be a good idea and a bad idea all.
Yeah.
You know,
You get a different perspective, but then you might lose
right, you might
something
lose
that
openness.
Right.
would be a trade-off.
It's good input. You know, Don, I think I've met you before, Donnie.
No, I don't think so.
Would you take any classes at night?
No.
Maybe you have a twin sister. That's awesome. That you don't even know about.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. Any other comments or questions that you have about the improvement? That was some very good discussion. It's going very well. Is there anything else that you would like C.W.E.P to offer that it doesn't currently provide? So we talked about improving things or doing things differently from the past and the good things about it. What about something new that isn't offered now that you would be appropriate for C.W.E.P to add?
Maybe focus more on clerical skills.
Okay.
Typing, I can't type. I would, you know, I taught
Interesting.
myself. Maybe if it would be possible to offer clerical skills. We have computers here. That was a great learning experience for me. But not only the academic, the clerical skills.
Very interesting, yeah. Today it's such an amazing thing. Computers are all over, but you still have people who didn't have the basic typing skills.
I
And
didn't.
so, you know, you have to learn, and it's not easy to do. Okay, so that's good. That's a good suggestion. Any other thoughts about new services or new programs or new anything? cafeteria, whatever. If I came here, I would want more food around, probably. Okay, very good. Okay, now we're moving into the next area, and that is the future. And this is toward the end of this discussion, and it's a little bit more, I call blue sky. So, because the question basically sort of lets you look out into the future and say, you know, what are the main things that you want to achieve over the next 5 years? And this is a broader question, you know. It asks you to step out of C.W.E.P in general and say, you know, what are you trying to accomplish? And then we're going to fold back into C.W.E.P and what it could do or can do to help you achieve those 5-year goals. Do you have these in your mind? Anybody want to start and talk about what the main things you want to accomplish in the next 5 years?
Well, I heard Gimme earlier say what her goal was. I thought that was...
Yeah, 5-year plan, get off DPA.
Yeah.
And, C.W.E.P has already helped me to at least see that idea. And, as, I don't know how it could, the only other way I could see it really helped me is, you know, calling up here and talking to somebody who knows something or who can direct me in whatever way I wanted to go. Because they did help me to figure out what courses would be good for me to take at community college to get to the electronics field. And if I decide that I want to go into something else, how what I'm taking now could tie into whatever I decide to take. And that's basically how it can help me, but it still all goes back to the friends that you meet here, you know, with the staff, through the staff, and those that went through the classes with you. You know, you still have that support. I guess you never lose that support. If you need them, you know, you can always call.
So you would feel comfortable if you wanted to talk over career decisions or get some counseling or guidance coming back to C.W.E.P and speaking perhaps with one of your teachers or
right. Or like the math teacher that I had in Work Start 2. She said that anytime I need any help, because she was the one that got me to learn multiplication. Now I didn't know that, but I had my own little system of doing it, and I told her what my system was. And what was funny, she told the whole class what my system was. And I'm like, why she told this class? You know, but she said that it's interesting how I was able to get into Algebra 1, learning that system, because she was telling everybody you can't get nowhere unless you learn your multiplication. I went all the way into Algebra 1 without learning my multiplication. So she helped me to learn my multiplication. And she said that if I ever need any help, you know, I can come back and talk to her and she can help me, you know, through the math, any type of math courses that I have to take. So, I mean, I was glad that she actually opened that door and told me that anytime I needed her help, that I could come back.
That's great. What about you, Don, as far as your 5-year type of goals and objectives? What are the main things you want to accomplish?
Oh, I'd like to come back and teach here.
Okay,
Great.
that's good.
I would like to stay, you know, get my degree and come back and teach here,
Yeah.
teach adults. I don't think I could handle teaching children. That's what I'd like to do.
If you'd like to teach, you'd like to come back here,
Yeah.
that's great to have those goals. What do you think, I mean, C.W.E.P can do? It's doing now, I guess, what you wanted to do to achieve those. So you've already commented on it, providing you the skills and the ability to come and do that. Anything else that C.W.E.P can do to help further that? I guess if you want a teacher, they could hire you here, right?
Just the support system, like I said before earlier, right now I'm going through trying times with exams, and I could always, just for a hug, to go back to one of my former teachers, and she'd give me the comfort and say, it'll be okay. You know, we're here if you need me. You know, if you need just that extra support that you need is always here. It's available to you.
And encouragement.
Right,
So that
and
you get that.
encouragement.
That's great. That's wonderful. Eleanor, what about you?
I'm just thinking, you're in CCP here?
Yeah.
That's how I started. When I went to Work Start, rather than go out to to like college downtown, I continued here and I took 3 courses my first semester, right here with most of the girls that I was in school with, in the work start, and then branched out from there. You know, then I went to the Northeast, and now for the past 2 semesters, like I've made my way downtown to the main campus. But I think I needed that support along the way, and like, because I couldn't just go right out to college.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention that because that was real
Good.
helpful to get back into school, but also with people I was comfortable with, but also getting college credits.
That's good.
Yeah, like that was real helpful to me. In the next 5 years, I find C.W.E.P a stepping stone, not something to keep coming back to. Yet, I know if I need help or support, there are women here that can help me, but I think my life today has to move on. And not that I want to say I used C.W.E.P, but they have been helpful. And the next 5 years, like I said earlier, I'm being pushed towards staying on with school. I like it, and I'm a good student, and like my grades are real good. And they say I should different people have said I should continue, but financially, I might need to take a break and go out and get a job. In 5 years from now, I guess I want to be financially independent. That's my main goal.
That's great. And you
Maybe
both-
with a degree. At least all my associates. Like that was a personal goal. And
You think-
almost done.
Could you have said that before you enrolled in C.W.E.P, if someone asked you what you would do 5 years from now? You probably would have a lot less clear direction.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know where I was headed. I didn't know anything at that time. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything to follow up on that? The last question is kind of a hodgepodge, actually. Looks a bit like a casserole. You got all these kinds of things thrown in there. Basically, it's other programs that you're aware of similar to C.W.E.P. Are there any? And we've already talked about that earlier, some of the programs you thought about and how C.W.E.P compares. Is there anything that other programs offer that you think C.W.E.P should?
I guess I don't know of any other programs.
No.
This is unique, isn't it? It has been for you,
Yeah,
for all
it
of
is.
you. Yeah. All right. We're really, yeah, that's it. We're at the close now, and if there are any questions or thoughts, anything additional that you would like to comment on, please do. Any questions you have or thoughts? I just want to have, go ahead, I'll ask the question first, and I have a few comments.
I don't have any questions.
The only questions I have a comment that C.W.E.P is good for a stepping stone. That first step to get you into thinking. At least thinking career goal or thinking math, writing, English skills, working with the computer and stuff like that. It has worked out real well for me because now I'm in college where I don't think I've ever thought about it before. And even though I can't afford it, one class at a time is going to slowly get me to where I need to be. And if it wasn't for C.W.E.P, I don't know. I don't even know where I would be. Home, sitting, reading the paper, trying to find out is there a job out there for me. But I needed something that was going to at least get my foot in the door. I needed that education. I didn't have the money to get the education that I wanted. But step by step, C.W.E.P has told me that you don't have to go to college and take 3 or 4 classes. You can take one class at a time. And they're the ones that actually gave me that encouragement to do something. If you have an idea, go for it. So that's C.W.E.P is a stepping stone.
Yeah, that was another thing they helped me with was filling out not only the college application but financial aid forms. And yeah, because I didn't know where to begin. I had no idea about nothing, and they really helped me.
It must have made you feel comfortable too, because you were it was a rough time in your life, right?
Oh God, yes. Yeah, and it good help.
Good. Okay, is that it? Karen, do you have any?
I just wanted to thank you all very, very much. And I have a request for you. This has been so inspirational, and it's been so exciting to listen to you. I would very much like your permission to show, I promised you this videotape wasn't going to go anyplace, but what I'd really like your permission to do is to show it to other board members. Because we don't get the opportunity to come and talk to the students, and I can't tell you how exciting this was to me. And if you would give me that permission, it would be, oh, that's super. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to echo what Karen has said, and for me, I'm a new board member and a male, one of two. And maybe somebody might ask me the question, why would a man want to be on a C.W.E.P, right? But I joined because I felt like I like to be part of something that really contributes, that really makes a difference to people. And sitting here has by far been the most motivational thing for me to say, Nick, you did the right thing. You know, this is a good place to be part of. And I like the people that I met on the board and Colleen and so on, but there's nothing that can replace hearing people say what it's done for their lives. And it makes me feel happy for you and happy to be part of this. And I'm thankful that you were very open and that you came here. So.
You made a good choice.
Thanks. And by the way, they were playing sandwiches, so take a few with you. All right?
Thank you.
Please. I think I can say that.
Yeah, thank you very much. And we are going to be holding more focus groups. So if you could encourage your colleagues to participate in the focus groups, because we very, very much want as much input as we can get. To the extent that you reinforce each other, that's very useful information, because we'll continue to do the things that we're doing. To the extent that you bring up issues like publicity, boy, that's something I think we can fix. And so it's good to hear those comments, because they're not things that we'll be able to see on our own.
Right.
Yeah.
Very,
So
very
please,
much.
It's just
spread
a
the
bad-
word. You had a good time. Lunch was great.
I just wanted to say one thing. It's a bad time. 2 other people were supposed to come that I know of, but it's examinations
I
personally,
see.
and you know,
Okay.
so there'll be more people next meeting.
Super.
Yeah.
Well, I actually, you know, I enjoy a smaller group better, actually.
We had
So, I
a
mean,
great time.
it'd be nice if more come, and that's
Yeah.
what Karen's saying, but this was a perfect start. Really was.
Okay.
It
All
is
right.
finals week, though.
Yeah, we did like that.
All righty.
Okay,
I'm
thanks.
just
Hope
gonna-
it helps.
Oh, it's
Very
very
much
much. Wish all of you the best. I'd probably be seeing you in the hallways now. Maybe, maybe not, I guess. Thanks a lot.
Nice meeting you, Harry.
Nice to meet you. Good luck.
Bye.
A button here.
Oh, yeah, press that, that red button. Right under, yeah. Please take some sandwiches, because they're gonna sit there.
What did you say, just want to take the money?
What? No, I wanna take one. I'm not gonna, please, here.
Yeah, a little recording.
You take your
Let
bag,
somebody's
right?
comment already.
Really helps yourself. Hey, Tom, here's your cup. Jamie, how was that for you?